What's up YouTube, this is Galactic God, and I'm coming at you now with my Evils deck profile. This of course was the Evils deck that I've been using in my most recent Dev Pro Duel video series, so if you haven't already watched those videos, please, I encourage you to go do so. Once you kind of see what this deck has to offer, you can come back and take a look at this profile. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into things. So for monsters, I am playing 3 copies of the Evolsaur Vulcano. This guy has an awesome effect. Essentially what happens is when he is special summoned by an Evoltile monster, you can special summon one Evolsaur monster from your graveyard back to your side of the field. This makes for some awesome Exceed plays, and you can go right into Laggia or Dolkka or any other Exceed monster that you might need right away. Pretty cool. Got an awesome kind of toolbox-like effect. From there, we're playing 2 copies of Evolsaur Diplo. This card allows you to destroy one of your opponent's spell or trap cards when it's special summoned by an Evoltile monster. Really good, very cool for getting rid of back row. The only thing that, kind of sucks is that a lot of decks aren't playing heavy back row this format, even though heavy is gone. So it becomes, I guess it could be kind of dead against certain decks, but against other ones it's very helpful. I've almost been thinking about upping it up to 3 really, because if you draw a Diplo or something like that early on, or if you draw both of them, then you're never going to get that effect off, and sometimes it can be very helpful. From there, we're playing 2 copies of Evolsaur Cerato. Cerato is pretty awesome as well. He gets a little bit of an attack boost when he's special summoned by an Evoltile monster, but the main thing is that when he destroys one of your opponent's monsters by battle, you get to search your deck and add an Evoltile monster from your deck to your hand. And that kind of rounds up the Evolsaur monsters that I'm using. For Evoltiles, I'm playing 3 Najasho. His effect is when he is tributed, you can special summon one Evolsaur monster from your deck to the field. Becomes very useful, especially when we get to some of the spell and trap card supports that we're using in the deck. From there we have 3 copies of Evolsaur Westlo. Westlo has a flip effect, so he's kind of a little bit more of a slower paced moving card than probably a lot of people are used to now, because not too many people are using flip effects. But basically he has kind of a similar effect of Najasho, where when he's flipped, whenever he's flipped, whether it be by battle or just flip summoning them yourself, you get a special summon one Evolsaur monster from your deck. Finally, we have Evoltile Elginero. This guy has a couple of different effects. Basically, whenever you tribute him, you get to draw a card. And then, if you have an Evolsaur monster in your hand, you can send it back to the deck and then add an Evoltile monster from your deck to your hand. So it's kind of good for getting rid of Evolsaur monsters that you might have drawn into. He's not quite as good as Westlo or Najasho. One of the main reasons why I included him in here is that we do have a lot of tribute-like cards. We'll kind of get to those in a second. From there, I'm playing 3 copies of Blaster. I did originally have just 1 Blaster in the deck, and then I upped it to 2, and now I've upped it to 3, mostly because I want to be able to draw into Blaster fast, because it makes maybe those dead Evolsaur monster cards that you draw into, a little bit more useful, because you can then toss them to the graveyard and then use an Evoltile monster to bring out Vulcano or something, grab them back, so forth and so on. Plus, if you need to, you can always sack your Najasho and whatever for your Blaster, and thus trigger Najasho's effect as well, since you are tributing him. So it's kind of cool. Also, we are playing 2 copies of Effect Veiler. This allows us to go into synchro plays with our Blaster, or some of our level 4 synchro or level 4 Evolsaur monsters and stuff like that. Plus, negating effects is usually always a good thing. Finally, I'm playing Gorz, mostly because I feel like sometimes the deck can have some weird, funky draws. And I feel like Gorz is still a really good card to pop out on your opponent. Now, if they're playing Dragon Rulers or something, they can always try and grab it with Big Eye or something, insane like that. So you better have an Effect Veiler or something handy, or something that you can do to stop it. Gorz isn't as good as it maybe once was, because I guess it really just depends on the deck that you're playing against, but you need to be kind of careful when you drop it and what deck you're dropping it against. And that kind of rounds up the monsters. For spells, we're playing 3 copies of Evo-Force. This allows you to tribute one Evoltile monster on your side of the field, and then you can special summon one Evolsaur monster from your deck to the field. Its special summon is treated as being special summoned by an Evoltile monster. So the real thing that you want to do most of the time is probably tribute this guy right here, Najasho, because then you're going to trigger both effects. You'll actually special summon 2 Evolsaur monsters. The best 2 to bring out at that point, at least in my opinion, would be a Diplo and a Vulcano. This way you get to destroy a back row, plus, you can then special summon an an Evolsaur monster from your graveyard to the field. Maybe something like Cerato if he was in there. Before, this would be really cool because then you can go into a number 16 Shockmaster, but now you'll have to be a little bit more creative with your Exceed plays and what you go into. Also, this is not a mandatory effect, so you could miss timing depending on where you bring it out in the chain, so just keep that in mind. Make sure, you know, if you're going to play the deck that you understand how the chain links are going to work for it. Alright. From there, we have 3 copies of Evo Diversity. This is kind of like our Rhoda of the deck. I can grab an Evoltile or Evolsaur monster, so it's pretty cool. From there, we have 2 copies of Enemy Controller. Tribute Najasho, take control of your opponents. You know, level 4, bring out your own Evolsaur monster. Either Diplo, pop a back row, then go into an Exceed. Or, you know, maybe Vulcano, bring out another, you know, Evolsaur monster from your graveyard and go into an even bigger rank 4 Exceed. Next, we have 2 MSTs, 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon works really good too with Westlo in the deck since it's a flip effect. So if your opponent goes to attack it with something like Card Trooper or something like that, you can book your own Westlo. Card Trooper will hit it, it'll get its flip effect and bring out another monster, plus Westlo doesn't die. Finally, we have Darkhold to round up the spells. So for traps, we're playing 2 copies of Horn of Heaven. This card has an effect that states tribute 1 monster you control, and then negate the normal summon, flip summon, or special summon of an opponent's monster, which is good because then you can trigger Najasho's effect or something like that. Plus, you know, you're negating summons, which is always nice. The only bad thing is that it only stops inherent summons. So if they're being special summoned by the effect of a card, then it's not going to stop it. It's kind of similar to Thunder King in that aspect. So you can't stop Dragon Rulers from being special summoned. So, I don't know. Definitely was a little bit more versatile before Dragon Rulers kind of came and wrecked face on everything. From there we have Mirror Force, Solemn Warning, Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory, Torrential Tribute, and Sixth Sense. Definitely an awesome card. Interesting to see it in the TCG at this time. Really cool stuff. I mean, drawing 5 or 6 cards is always a good thing. Milling is not too terribly horrible in this deck either, as, you know, sending, you know, Evolsaur monsters and whatnot to the graveyard is pretty cool. It helps fuel both Blaster and Volcano, so, I mean, you know, either way you're getting fuel or food for, you know, these 2 cards, so it's kind of nice. So for the extra deck, we're playing 2 Laggia, 2 Dolkka, Cowboy, Abyss Dweller, Diamond Direwolf, Gagaga Cowboy, Blackship, Utopia. I like Ouroboros in here right now. He's really big, he's strong, gets over a lot of things, has some pretty cool effects. I wanted to use at least 1 rank 4 monster that required 3 you know, level 4 monsters to make, just so that you know, they usually have really good effects. I was using Thunder Spark Dragon for a while just to try and clear fields, or Vylon de Sigma. Both of them really good. Wish I could play more in here, but you know, maybe another one for, you know, just diversity's sake. But I really like Ouroboros. I think he works good. Finally, I'm playing Mecha Phantom Beast Dracossack for the Exceed portion of the extra deck. I wasn't playing any rank 7s at first, so in some of the duel videos you might have seen up there, some people were commenting saying like, how come you didn't go into a rank 7? Well, I didn't really have them in a lot of the earlier versions. I wasn't playing very many blasters, or I wasn't playing Gorz as well, and so I didn't think I was going to have the opportunity to really make that many rank 7s. But it kept coming up over and over and over again, so I just added, you know, Blaster up to the max 3 and the Gorz and everything, and I feel more comfortable playing at least 1 rank 7 in the deck now. From there, I have Catastor, Crimson Blader, and Scrap Dragon to kind of round up the extra deck. I mean, these are kind of more, you can definitely switch these out with other synchro monsters, or just beef up the Exceed portion of the deck. But I like having a couple of really good level 8 synchro monsters because we are playing blasters and stuff. And then Catastor's still pretty solid, you know, level 5 synchro, considering we're playing a lot of level 4 monsters in the deck as well. Alright, and that's going to do it for the extra deck. Alright YouTube, and there you have it. This was the Evil deck that I was using in my most recent duel video series. I think the important thing to keep in mind with this deck is that I don't consider it a tier 1 or even a tier 1.5 or anything like that. At best, I would call this deck a tier 2 level. You know, it is really fun to play though, so I do encourage you guys to check it out, make your own build, make adjustments to your play style. I got a lot of different ideas from other Yugi tubers that have explored this deck in the past. People like Great Fellows Montana had a long running video series on Evils, and he had a lot of really good ideas on different techs you could try, so I encourage you to go check out his videos as well. Anyhow, in the comment section below, remember, let me know how you think I did on my build, and I guess that's it for now. This is Galactic God, out.